Welcome back to USA News Hub. Here, we bring you the latest updates, highlights, and breaking news from the world. Witness the emotional roller coaster as Michael Jordan opens up about his desire to return to the court in tears. Chicago, the world stopped for a moment when Michael Jordan, the man whose very name defines basketball greatness, appeared on television and, with tears in his eyes, said the words millions of fans have long felt in their hearts: "I love basketball more than you can imagine. Honestly, I wish I could take a magic pill, put on my shorts, and go play today, because that's who I am." At 62 years old, Jordan remains as captivating and deeply human as ever. In a rare and emotional NBC interview, aired during halftime of the NBA's season opener between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Houston Rockets, the six-time NBA champion spoke about the one thing he still misses more than anything: the game itself. More than 2 decades after his final retirement in 2003, Michael Jordan's connection to basketball hasn't faded, it's simply evolved. His eyes welled up as he talked about the void left after stepping away from the court. "It hurts, you know? Because basketball isn't just what I did, it's who I am," Jordan said. "I still wake up some mornings wanting to compete, wanting to feel that crowd. But I know I can't. My body's done its job." Jordan's emotional honesty struck a chord with millions watching worldwide. For a generation that grew up idolizing his gravity-defying dunks, his fierce competitiveness, and his 6 NBA titles with the Chicago Bulls, it was a poignant reminder that even the greatest of all time can miss what once defined them. Jordan's appearance wasn't just a nostalgic cameo. It marked the launch of his new NBC commentary series, titled MJ: Perspectives on Excellence. The show's premiere episode, filmed in his own home, blends intimate storytelling, sports philosophy, and personal reflection. NBC has yet to reveal how often the series will air, but the debut episode already sent shockwaves across the basketball world. It's the first time in years Jordan has spoken so openly about his post-retirement life. And, fittingly, it happened during an NBA broadcast that featured the next generation of stars. During halftime of the Thunder Rockets' double overtime thriller, a game where reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 50 points, Jordan stepped into the commentator's chair with grace and humility. "Watching these kids play takes me back," he said. "You see the hunger, the joy, the competitiveness. That's what this game is all about. It never gets old." Jordan also made a surprising revelation. He hasn't picked up a basketball in years. "I haven't picked up a ball in years. Do you see a hoop anywhere around here? No. I don't even have that anymore," he said with a wry smile, gesturing around his luxurious North Carolina estate. That statement stunned fans. The thought of Michael Jordan without a basketball seems almost unthinkable. Yet, behind his humor lies a deeper truth. The man who once lived for the game now appreciates life from a quieter place. He shared a light-hearted but touching story from last year's Ryder Cup, where he was staying at a rental home and was asked by a group of children to prove he still had it. "It was the most nervous I've been in years," Jordan laughed. "Those kids had heard stories from their parents about what I did 30 years ago. They handed me a ball and said, 'Let's see it, Mr. Jordan.' I took the shot, and it went in. Perfect swish. It made my week." Even in casual moments, Jordan's competitive spirit and his effortless touch never truly leaves him. It's been over 20 years since Jordan last played in the NBA, but his influence is as strong as ever. From the Jumpman logo to the global empire of Air Jordan sneakers, his brand transcends time and sport. But beyond the billions and the fame, Thursday's interview reminded fans of something more enduring: his humanity. "He's not just the best player ever," said former Bulls teammate Steve Kerr, now head coach of the Golden State Warriors. "He's the reason we all believe in excellence." Hearing him talk like that, you feel the fire's still there. Young stars like Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander often cite Jordan as their inspiration. His mentality, the relentless drive to win, to outwork, and to outthink everyone else, still shapes how the modern game is played. "Everybody wants to be like Mike," goes the old Gatorade jingle. Decades later, it still rings true. As emotional as it was to hear Jordan say, "I wish I could play again." There was also a deep sense of peace in his voice, a recognition that life has seasons, and every player eventually steps off the court for good. "There's a time for everything," Jordan reflected. "I had my time. Now it's about watching, learning, and appreciating what comes next. I'm proud of what I gave the game, and I'm even prouder of what the game gave me." That humility, coming from a man who redefined global sports culture, only strengthens his legend. He doesn't need to pick up a basketball again. The echoes of his greatness are still heard in every arena, every buzzer beater, every kid practicing fadeaways in the driveway. Today, Jordan remains deeply connected to the sport through ownership, philanthropy, and mentorship. As former principal owner of the Charlotte Hornets, he invested heavily in player development and community programs. His Jordan brand continues to fund scholarships, build basketball courts worldwide, and promote youth sports. In 2023, he became the first athlete to appear on the Forbes 400 list of richest Americans, with a net worth surpassing $3 billion, a testament to how his impact has extended far beyond the hardwood. But as he said in the interview, none of it compares to the feeling of being in the game. Money, fame, business, they're all great. But nothing replaces that feeling when you hear the crowd, when you look your opponent in the eye and say, "Let's go." That's what I miss. Within minutes of the NBC broadcast, social media flooded with emotional reactions. Clips of Jordan wiping tears from his eyes went viral on X, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, with fans around the world expressing admiration and nostalgia. "Seeing MJ cry hit me hard. You can tell basketball was his heartbeat," wrote one fan. "The game misses him as much as he misses it," another posted. On YouTube, the clip from MJ, Perspectives on Excellence, amassed over 10 million views in 24 hours, making it one of the most watched sports interviews of 2025. Michael Jordan may never step onto an NBA court again, but in truth, he doesn't need to. Every time a young player hits a clutch shot, every time a crowd chants MVP in unison, and every time someone laces up a pair of Air Jordans, his spirit lives on. "He'll always be the standard," said former rival Reggie Miller. "Not just for how he played, but how much he loved to play." For now, the basketball world is just grateful to hear his voice again. Raw, emotional, and utterly timeless. As the broadcast ended, Jordan smiled softly and said one last line that perfectly summed up both his pain and peace. "I can't play anymore. But I can still love the game, and that's enough." That's all for today's update on USA News Hub. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest sports news and highlights from around the world.